All right, and we're live, and I'm here with my frequent sidekick, Artistic Layman.
So what's the fix?
Indeed. And before we get started, let's do a little house cleaning, as it were. I will probably not be doing a Saturday show this weekend. I got some plans going on, and they're not totally solidified yet, but it looks like I won't be doing a Saturday show this weekend. So later today, I guess. I don't know. Maybe Luke will do something in my absence. Maybe not. That's up to him. But probably no Saturday show this weekend. So that's sort of why I wanted to make sure and do a little extra. Do this stream tonight and a couple other things. So yeah. The other thing, I guess, we'll start with. Last night, I decided because it was on demand. It was so I didn't have to pay any extra for it, and I decided I was going to watch the Kim Possible live action movie. Now, I've said on here before that the Kim Possible cartoon is fucking awesome. I love the Kim Possible cartoon. I don't know how. I remember why I started watching it. Because I was like a senior in high school or something like that when it came out, or like I remember watching it like shortly after high school and all. And one of the part of the reason I gave it a shot is because the art style for it actually was it was done by one of the guys that did the Clerks cartoon. So I liked that art style, so I decided to give it a shot. And Kim Possible was fucking awesome. That cartoon was just the tits. I actually remember specifically one time, like my girlfriend at the time, she was giving me like I'm watching it. She's like giving me shit about it. Like, why are we watching this? Like, why are you watching this? I'm like, because I fucking like it. She's like, I understand. I get why you like superhero cartoons because you're a big old comic nerd. Why are you watching just this random fucking kids cartoon? I'm like, because I fucking am. Sit down and shut up or leave. Well, she gets halfway through it and she just sort of looks at me. She's like, okay, this show's awesome. I'm like, I know, right? It's so much better than it has any right to be. The voice cast in it was amazing. Because not only did you have really talented voice actors and Disney stars of the time, like Ron was played by the older brother from Boy Meets World. Kim was played by the chick from Shia LaBeouf's show, which I can't remember the name of it, but the older sister from that show. So people that that were already in Disney Channel employ at the time, but also, I mean, you had amazing voice actors. You had Patton Oswalt on there. You had Ricardo Montalban doing recurring roles in there, just stuff like that. Amazing voice cast in it. The show was hilarious. It was so fucking funny. And the best part about that show is that it didn't bother really to explain shit. Like why is this teenage girl like a fucking super spy? Because fuck you, that's why. Like it did a little bit like her parents are like super geniuses and she's like, ginger master race basically, and there's this brief explanation like, well, one day I just accidentally picked up the distress call and started saving people, and now I just save people. Fuck you. That's why the brilliance of that cartoon, and I can't even explain how it manages to do this, but it's like the cartoon looks at you and says, don't ask why any of this is this way. Just accept that it is. And somehow that just worked. Like there's so much weird shit. Like the main villains, Dr. Draken and Shigo is his like sidekick. They have the weirdest fucking relationship where it's like they're like an old married couple. Like they just bicker and hate each other. Shigo is like nothing but contemptuous towards Dr. Draken. And yet somehow she's also like fiercely loyal. Like Like there's no there's no reason she has to keep working for him. There's no reason she can't go fucking do her own shit. She's way more competent than him. But that's just like she just doesn't. You know, don't ask why she's fiercely loyal to him. Just accept that she is. Somehow that fucking worked. It just that cartoon is fucking brilliant. I actually want to do like a full review of it. Like sit down and actually do a full review. Like rewatch the whole damn thing at some point. When the hell am I gonna have time to do that? Is right now is a problem. I mean, we're talking about 4 fucking seasons plus 2 TV movies. What were you playing there, Luke?
Each daughter is not afraid of you. Why should I be? Drew.
So Disney Channel decided to do a live action remake of it, adaptation, whatever you want to call it. And I thought that it looked like it was going to be ass. Now, partly that's because Disney right now seems to be insanely creatively bankrupt, and sort of has the reverse Midas touch. I mean, Disney has managed to make Star Wars not fucking profitable anymore. I didn't think that was possible. They managed to sink Star Wars to a level that Star Wars fans finally gave up on it. I didn't think Star Wars fans had any fucking taste, but apparently there reaches a quality level where even they turn their backs on it. But it was free on the cable, so I decided to watch it last night. And I mostly liked it. I got to say, no, I had like no expectations. I had pretty low fucking expectations. But I mostly liked it. I got to say, I mostly liked it. So, man, I can't remember the name of the villain. Patton Oswalt used to do a voice of a villain on that cartoon. And it was like this really bad German accent. And he just plays that villain. There's like an opening sequence action scene, and then we get into Act 1. But he just fucking plays that villain. And don't play any clips of it, Luke. I don't want to get struck. Just use still images. But he plays this villain, right? And so there's this I don't know 5-minute action sequence at the beginning. And again, Patton Oswalt's just fucking funny. I mean, he's a great comedic actor. Yeah, the guy's a piece of shit personally, but that's basically everyone in Hollywood. Like he gets away at the end in an escape pod, and then Kim has her fucking black nerd guy, redirect the escape pod to a police station, and you see him on like the news later, like getting dragged out of police, and he's screaming like, "I am just an innocent escape pod enthusiast." Just the thing's fucking funny through most of this, but after that action sequence, you have like an Act 1 that just fucking drags. Just after I'm enjoying this action sequence, and then Act 1 really kicks into gear, and I'm like, this is fucking terrible. One of the things that's kind of cool though, they did a live action like shot for shot recreation of the little theme song with the little clips and all, including the part where she's a cheerleader, which is weird because she's not a cheerleader in the movie. She's on the soccer team, which is another Act 1 subplot that just wastes your fucking time. Like all of Act 1 just feels like padding, just fucking padding. Like this was an hour, and then they decided, holy shit, this is only an hour. We can't call that a movie. And let's just pad the ever-loving fuck out of Act 1. So Act 1 slogs is like hell. But then you get to the meat of it, and it's just funny again. The guy playing Dr. Draken, he was on the Drew Carey show. He also did the voice of Batman and Batman Brave and the Bold. He's fucking great. The chick playing Shigo is fucking great. Like they're sitting in their shitty like lair, and he's all like, "Did you get the bullshit, whatever, the MacGuffin that they were after, like the fuel source for his stupid machine?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's over there." And he walks over, and he pulls out a fucking Amazon box, right? And he's like, "You ordered it online?" And she's like, "Yeah, get with the times. Nobody leaves the lair anymore." And he opens it up, and it's like some cheap Chinese knockoff. And he's like, "No, you have to go steal the real thing. You can't just be ordering fake bullshit on Amazon." All in all, that was pretty fucking funny. The first act slogs, though. Holy shit, does it slog?
Because the off switch is all the way up there.
Tell them where it is.
Shingo.
Don't tell them where it is. Yeah, dude. The kid playing Ron's fucking hilarious. He even sounds like Ron. He even nailed the voice. The chick playing Kim Possible is fine. All in all, the cast is really good. There's a few missteps, but all in all, it was pretty entertaining. I'm genuinely surprised. And it wasn't full of like bullshit girl power and soy, and nobody was a lesbian in the remake. You know, nobody was a tranny. You know, we didn't take white characters and turn them black. There's a little of that. Bonnie was Asian for some fucking reason, but that was the closest you got to that. Also, she doesn't matter in this. It's more Act 1 bullshit that could have been cut out of the fucking movie. But like there's none of that shit in there. There's none of the usual bullshit. You know, this isn't Captain Marvel where we made a movie for cat ladies.
So
The evil plan reveal.
I should have brought a book.
I find these informative.
There's a part where he's like at the school kidnapping somebody, and he starts like, "Oh, you all probably wondering about the rest of my plan," and she goes just like, "What did I say about oversharing?" It's funny though. I genuinely enjoyed it. I thought it was going to be absolute shit.
I'm just seeing this clip right here, and it just looks fantastic.
Yeah, it's pretty damn good. Like I said, first act slogs. Rest of it's though really damn good. Is it as good as the show? No, not by a long shot. The show was just a whole lot of remarkable lightning in a bottle. That I really don't think you could recapture that. This almost feels like a pilot to a live action Kim Possible show. You know what I mean? Like if it was a pilot, I'd be like, I see a lot of potential here for this, because pilots usually got to shake out the bugs anyways. I don't know if they might make a sequel to this that turned out better. They sort of left a big sequel open at the end of it. I don't know. Depends on how well this does or whatever. But yeah, the original cartoon was just lightning in a fucking bottle. I mean, it was just hilarious and brilliant. You're definitely not going to recapture that. It's kind of funny. The main plot of Draco is that he's trying to steal the spark that makes Kim Possible what she is, basically. And that's sort of fitting because that's sort of what this movie tries to do, is capture that spark from the show. And much like the villain's plot, it doesn't quite succeed. But it's entertaining. It's definitely better than I thought it would be. It's getting raked over the coals by like fucking guys who review animation stuff, like I guess fans. But I don't know. Sometimes I think you can get a little too cynical with that shit. I mean, I know I walked into it with low expectations, but I was thoroughly entertained for most of those 90 minutes. I mean, it's just goofy, stupid, over the top shit. You gotta accept that. But that's exactly what the cartoon was, in the best possible way.
Ah! I hate it when you call me that. I am not the man you knew in college, Possible.
Still can't get a date, though, I bet.
I forgot that. That was hilarious. So that was the Kim Possible movie. I think I might do a short little video review of it, have Luke animate it, because it's pretty good. I don't think it's getting enough credit. Like, oh, it's not as good as the show. Well, of course it's not. You know, who the hell thought it would be? But pretty decent. All right, so we're gonna move on to an article, and I rarely fucking say this, folks. I I rarely fucking say this, but trigger warnings out the ass. And I'm not saying that like liberal, like ironic shit. I'm saying like you may want to turn this the fuck off right now. Okay. If you just ate or something like that,
become an epidemic.
Autism has indeed become an epidemic. No, I'm not kidding. If y'all just ate or something, like we were talking about Happy Fun cartoons and the live action movie that spawned them, and we're gonna take a complete fucking 180 into the Hellraiser box here, folks. All right. You're going to see some shit that is just sickening. And I am giving you fair fucking warning. Okay. So we have an article from thesun.co.uk. And I'm going to throw this in here for Luke. And we're gonna explore some foreign cultures here. And I'm not kidding. Luke's probably going to throw some pictures up on the screen. I'm not fucking kidding, guys. You think I'm kidding, but I am not kidding. So, this article is entitled Death Ritual: How a 1 Million Strong Tribe Keep Their Dead Relatives at Home, Feeding and Cuddling Their Rotting Bodies. Y'all niggas ready for this?
It's for real.
The Torajo people of Indonesia, I'm probably mispronouncing that, but too fucking bad, often don't bury their deceased loved ones for years or even decades. You feel free to put some of these pictures on the screen, Luke. I warned y'all, motherfuckers. I'm telling you this right now. I warned y'all, motherfuckers. The first picture we have cuddling up to Ariel, her 6-year-old sister. Clara stares directly at the camera for the picture. Clara poses with her dead sister Ariel, who died when she was 6. Yeah. It has the makings of a sweet family mantelpiece portrait. However, one of the girls is dead. Pardon me. In the mountainous areas of Indonesia, the Toraja people mummify the bodies of the deceased and care for their preserved bodies as though they are still living. There are around 1 million Torajan people, most of whom live in the south something fucking region, I'm not going to bother pronouncing that, who believe that after death, the soul remains in the house, so the dead are treated to food, clothing, water, and cigarettes. Their skin and flesh are preserved from decaying and rotting, which begins within days of death by a coating of a chemical solution called formalin, which is a mixture of formaldehyde and water. The stench is strong, so the family will store lots of dried plants beside the body to mask the odor. Look, are you going through these fucking pictures? Feel free to. I warned everybody. Y'all motherfuckers know. Don't look away. Deal with this now. Songa passed away more than 40 years ago when he was 70 and is now given a cigarette by his nephew. His nephew, who is a child, who is also smoking a cigarette. All cultures are equal. Never forget that, folks. Yuanti something takes a selfie with a relative, Allah, who died more than 20 years ago and is a fucking skeleton. We have a dead baby. This is the first time Fort cousins meet their dead relative who passed away a decade ago. A boy called Adarius, who died 20 years ago, gets new clothing before being returned to the family tomb. This body has been adorned with a false set of teeth. For the community, a well-preserved body brings good fortune. So family go to great lengths to ensure that those who have died remain in the best possible shape. They are kept wrapped up in blankets in a bed in a room of the house, or in the wealthier homes, they'll rest in a tongkanan, a traditional Torajan ancestral house with a distinctive boat-shaped roof, so the water rain runs off. They'll stay here until a funeral takes place, which in some instances can be years or even decades. Quote, my mother died suddenly, so we weren't ready yet to let her go. Unquote. A Torajan woman, whose name I'm not going to bother trying to pronounce, told National Geographic of how this helps the grieving process. Quote, I can't accept burying her too quickly, unquote. Often families will need to spend time saving in order to be able to afford a proper funeral, which staggeringly can cost anywhere between 700 million Indonesian rupiah, which translates to 38,000 pounds British, for lower caste, and more than 3 trillion, which translates to 200,000 pounds, which I'm not sure what that is in dollars. I don't really give a fuck, for upper caste. With many low-income rural Torajans struggling to earn more than around 1 million rupiah each month, which is roughly 54 pounds British, bank loans are often necessary, and in recent years, younger people have been moving to cities, unable to afford such high amounts. Woo fucking lad. Not a lot of things genuinely, like, really disgust me. Genuinely have me like, oh shit, man, really? But yeah, this is pretty fucking gross. This is some Mexican sugar dancing shit right here. All cultures are the same, you know. Yeah, you asked me why I want to shut down immigration. How'd you like a couple 100,000 of these idiots to go settle in your hometown, dragging around their dead fucking relative? Yeah, how'd you like the streets of your city to look like Dawn of the Dead? Okay, so let's move on to something else, because that's just horrifying. We got another article. I know it's quite the tone shift. We're going to talk about happy little cartoons, and then here's motherfuckers that carry dead bodies around for no reason.
That was refreshing.
That's how it's. You never know what you're going to get on this show, folks. This is so now we got another article off of RussianInsider.com. France's Jewish elites demand yellow vest protest be shut down. I haven't read this article, but I saw that headline and I said, okay, I think we should read this. La Parisienne, February 19th, has an interview with Francis Khalifat, president of CRIF, Representative Council of Jewish Organizations of France, the main Jewish ethno-activist organization in France. All major French politicians are expected to attend its dinners and pay court to it, except for those of the Front National Party, who, being defenders of France's interests, are systematically excluded. Oy vey. And then, for no reason at all, they started rounding those people up. Is France experiencing a strong uptick of anti-Semitism? Francis Caliphate, clearly yes. Gee, I wonder why. The increase of 74% in 2018 of anti-Semitic acts means that the Jewish population of our country, which represents less than 1% of the overall population, is the focus of more than 59% of the racist acts committed. Yeah, and I wonder what percentage of France's wealth that 1% holds. I wonder what percentage of power in France that 1% holds. Just curious. Is it stirred up by the Gilets jaunes? I can't pronounce French words. Francis Caliphate, the movement has radicalized and infiltrated by conspiratorial movements, the far right, the far left, Islamo-leftists. It gives them the opportunity to come and express their hatred of Jews, Israel, during these demonstrations on Saturday. What should be done? Francis Caliphate. Drastic measures must be taken to bring these demonstrations to an end, which are no longer used to make claims about purchasing power, but instead express hatred of institutions, the Republic, and Jews. Because apparently in France, Jews are the institution. That's funny. I thought France was supposed to belong to the French. Are you calling for the demonstrations to be banned, Francis Caliphate? There is a constitutional right to demonstrate, but a way must be found to make them stop. In any case, to channel them. Only demonstration. Good Lord. He actually said all this shit. If we can't stop it, let's co-op it. Only demonstrations declared in writing beforehand need to be permitted. Prevent the others. We can't continue like this Saturday after Saturday. It couldn't be any more fucking obvious. Everybody in the chat saying the Goyim no. Yes, the Goyim indeed no. Shut it down. Oh man. Why is there all this anti-Semitism, guys? By the way, you can't express your opinions or we'll shut you down. Speaking of which, by the way, is everybody paying attention to the fact that Chase Bank is shutting down right-wingers left, right, and center, no pun intended? Everybody paying attention to that? Pretty sure that's fucking illegal. If it's not, it damn well should be. But no, more of you fucking cucks. Why don't you keep talking about how they're a private company and they can do what they want? More of you fucking cucks. Remember that Breakpoint article I read on here where they're like, Twitter can censor right-wing views because, we can't say that, the baker should be able to refuse the homosexual if Twitter can't refuse everyone to the right of fucking Marx. So yeah, you cucks keep going on about private companies, by the way. See where that gets you. See what wall that gets you lined up against. Speaking of Breakpoint, I have another article I want to dig into a little bit here.
Gold in the Swiss banks. It must have come from the Nazis. It's ours as well. It's all ours. Ours, ours, ours. And then later on, 50 years later, they say, why us? Why us? Why us?
There's a couple of really stupid on articles on Breakpoint here. We have one where they're actually called The Empty Planet, where they actually think that, the world is underpopulated. And then we got one where they're talking about Downey's talking about like what is normal. God, it's amazing how left-wing Breakpoint sounds at times. Like, look, it's one thing to say, okay, all people, it's one thing to be against, say, aborting Downies or something, but it's another thing to actually try and argue that having Down syndrome is a good thing, which I've seen them do, by the way. I don't know. I don't want to read a Breakpoint article. It's going to make me fucking sad. But yeah, Chase Bank, Running their mouth again with that kind of shit. I love how you see this from some people in the right, but every time that birth rates are slightly below replacement, there's like this mass panic from these people, like, oh, we're gonna go extinct or something like that. Like like they talk about, see, Japan's below birth rate, they're just gonna go fucking extinct. Like no, like populations go up and down, right? There's this weird thing from Christians where they seem to imagine that populations can just expand like indefinitely, like forever. They can just keep going up. There's 7 billion motherfuckers on this planet. And you think that this planet's underpopulated? You out of your fucking mind? Yeah, okay, in the first world, things are below replacement, but that might, if we didn't let a bunch of third worlders in, that would actually be a good thing for a little while. I'll tell you what needs to be under replacement: fucking Africa, China, India. How about that fucking island where they all carry around their dead fucking relatives? I'd be quite happy if not another baby was born there ever again. Parts of South America are brutally overpopulated. But no, just keep letting the South Americans breed like fucking rabbits and rip out all the fucking rainforest. That'll be great. Keep letting China pollute the fucking world because until there's a trillion of them. Oh, we need more people. You want to be like this? Is that what you want, you idiots?
A nice little day on the beach here.
I don't even know what the fuck. I think it's just better if you just let populations go up and down. All right, like don't let third worlders come in and replace you. Like Japan's doing. Japan has a lot of problems, but they're not letting third worlders come in and replace them. So yeah, they're going to see a population shrinkage in the next 100 years. But in 100 years from now, Japan is still going to be Japanese, and they'll probably be stronger for the culling. And they can't just expand infinitely. They're a little island. And these people go, oh, we're actually underpopulated. Fucking retards.
There's always this constant nightmare of, oh, we're getting overpopulated or underpopulated. How would we just stop worrying about the future and just worry about what we have in the present? Is that too much to ask?
I mean, I said before on the global warming thing that if it were real, and I don't believe it is, the only possible solution would be population control. And population control specifically in China, India, and Africa. And
it's much worse than that. We have to reduce the population by 2/3 for any effective results.
No. Trust me, if I could Infinity Gauntlet snap my fingers, I wouldn't have a problem doing that. But guess what? Most of the people to go away would be in China, India, Africa. How about that whole island where they cuddle with their dead relatives? That's gone now. That'd be gone now if it were up to me. They're gone. That's enough of your shit. Okay. Do you want a zombie virus? Because that's how you get a zombie virus.
It's always dumb though, because the whole overpopulation theme with Thanos is so inherently wrong because the whole threat of overpopulation or depopulation was always ignoring the effects of supply and demand. I mean, if you have more people, you have more stuff to buy, and have more stuff to buy, it's more people that have adjusting in prices. It's just
no. The thing is, like, I mean, there's only so. Now, I think things naturally work themselves out, but the problem is it can get really ugly until they do. But no, there's I mean, this is a finite planet. We can't expand our populations infinitely. I mean, hell, there's only literally so much physical room, but beyond that, there's only so much resources, and even renewable resources only renew so fast. There is a there is a set limit to the amount of people that can be sustained at anything approaching a first world level on this planet. There's a set limit to the amount of people that can survive, period, on this planet. Now, certain areas of the world get overpopulated primarily because of foreign aid, that encourages dirt poor motherfuckers to have a million damn kids. Now, things do tend to work themselves out, but the problem is when you get to a certain overpopulation point, things get really miserable. And the way things work themselves out are very, very painful and involve tremendous amounts of suffering. I do think it's highly unlikely, though, that every planet in the universe would be overpopulated at the same time. So that's the one kind of flaw I found, I mean, every section of this planet isn't overpopulated at the same time. So this planet as a whole is probably overpopulated, but again, if you took China, India, and Africa out of the mix, our population levels would probably be a touch well under what's sustainable.
Realistically, this image right here is what everyone really fears about overpopulation, though. The image from Idiocracy.
Well, there's that element. I mean, the worst among us breeding the fastest kind of thing. But again, a lot of that, a lot of that is because of artificial dysgenic elements, like the welfare state, for example. Well, yeah, the parts of the world that are the major polluters are the actual overpopulated sections. I mean, whenever they do push population control, they always push it on fucking white countries and first world countries that are already below replacement. It's good to once in a while be below replacement. Again, populations can't just expand infinitely. If you just let things have the natural ebb and flow, it'd be fine. And I don't know what any kind of solution for it would be. I mean, certainly any kind of humane solution. China, I mean, China doesn't know what the fuck to do. Okay. China tried to enact its own population problem, and they had the unforeseen effect of now they don't have any girls. So now you have a bunch of young men forming gangs because they have no connection to society because they have no family. Somebody in the chat says, I keep telling dumb white girls in the Midwest that nothing you throw away here goes into the ocean. It goes into a hole in the ground. None of it in America. Yeah, the plastic in the Pacific Ocean is not, that's not really America. That's mostly China. Again, you want to talk about who the polluters are. China's the single biggest polluter on this country. Even per capita, even per person. China is the single country, the single biggest polluter on this planet. Yeah, if anything, it's America that's likely going to solve the fucking plastic in the Pacific Ocean problem. You already have, bored billionaires working out ways to fix that problem. But no, China's causing that problem.
You just love this horizon on this shot.
Yeah. Like, China needs to go fuck itself. Okay, just in general. China's the biggest. Well, there's a small little nation in the Middle East, with a certain large-nosed tribe. But after that, the country with the worst effects on the world is China. China needs to go fuck itself. And I don't know how the hell you get there. The the way they financially manipulated things. I don't, much like that other nation full of long-nosed motherfuckers. I don't know how the hell you deal with their with the insane amount of influence, insane amount of negative influence they have over the world. But I can tell you right now, if I could fucking, Thanos finger snap away China and that certain long-nosed country, this world would be a hell of a lot better place.
Well, it turns out the market's helping that too, because it turns out all those poor capital investments that China made all over the world are actually not making any return. They spent millions of dollars building up these big cities that only 5 people live in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we have to make something with these things.
Somebody says, stop buying their crap for once. Buy domestic as much as you can. Help as much as you can help it. Well, that's the other thing. It's so hard to, I was sort of getting black pilled on all this fucking the Desmond is amazing shit. That little 10-year-old kid that looks like he's dying of AIDS, that it does the drag shows and he danced for dollars at the fucking gay club. That kid was on Good Morning America. They got Good Morning America and it's got some fucking hoe bag and then some ex-football player with, who has a gap in his teeth. It looks like you could kick a football through. But these are mainstream celebrities. And this little kid, this little 10-year-old boy comes out to be interviewed dressed like a goddamn streetwalker. And they're just like, oh, it's so stunning and brave. And you watch that shit and you can get so black-pilled on that crap. When you realize, like, the entirety of our elites are devil-worshipping pedophiles. Okay? And anybody who isn't exactly that is bought off by people who are exactly that. And all these idiots who applaud it, I mean, I've always been a very, very live and let live guy because, look, I'm a degenerate motherfucker myself. I'm not one to throw stones, okay? So, I mean, I don't, when it's adults doing it, I don't care, okay? I may think it's wrong. I may think it's disgusting, but I just, it's not my fucking business. These are kids. These are children. They're coming for your kids. All right. And then what is it? Mile High Comics. It's a comic book site that I used to order comics from them back when you had to photocopy the page in a comic book and then check off the ones you wanted of this big long list of back issues they had in there with the tiniest little print that you could basically possibly read. You check off the ones you wanted and you waited a month and a half and you got them in the mail. And then I'd order them online and all. I've ordered off Mile High a bunch of times. They're this huge comic book store out in Colorado, the biggest comic book store in the country. I've always wanted to go out and see that place, to go there and shop. It's huge. Now, I never have because I'm not going to go to Colorado just to go to a fucking comic book store. And what the fuck else is in Colorado? But I've always wanted to go out there and see that place. And what do I see on Facebook the other day? Mile High. Let me bring it up even. I want to even bring this fucking up so I can read it. It's on the Twitter, Luke, if you want to share it. Share the picture of it. I think it is. I think we put this on Twitter, didn't we? Yeah, okay. So they share something on their Facebook page where they're having a drag show for all ages. Doors open at 5, show at 6. First Sunday of every month, they do this. And this is the caption they write on Facebook. Our premiere event will be held on Sunday, March 3rd. Doors open at 5 p.m. Show begins at 6. And I want to read this part. I know I've read it on here before, but I want to read. Pay attention. All of our young performers will be allowed to keep their tips, so please bring $1 bills. Nigga, what? So what do you even do? You know, I like, oh, well, I'll just buy something from the other comic book store and then I find out they're doing the same thing or something. Where do you go? What do you do? How do you possibly not how do you do anything anymore? Everywhere you go, this shit. What do you do anymore?
Really, nigga?
Like, how, I mean, what do you, I'm gonna go live in the fucking woods, all completely off the grid. You know, how the hell else are you gonna wash your hands? All this shit.
I saw you, man. Everybody got AIDS and shit.
Yeah, no shit. What do you do? How do you get away from it all? And I mean, again, I'm a degenerate motherfucker, guys. All right, I don't pretend like I'm holier than thou. I know a certain bald fucking weirdo used recently like to accuse me of that, but I really don't think I do. Okay, but what the fuck, man? How does it, these are children? How does this not fill you with rage? Everybody in the comment section of that Facebook page that is talking about how stunning and brave it is, if I was king, I would execute each and every one of them. Merely for applauding it, I would. Let alone the people actually fucking doing it. At what point does God owe Sodom and Gomorrah an apology? These are fucking children. This kid is gay. He's a fucking kid. He doesn't know what the fuck he is.
There's this idea that hell is a bottomless pit, and that's because no matter how bad it is, some stupid son of a bitch like you could figure out a way to make it a lot worse.
No shit. I don't know what to do with this. I don't know how to respond. This shit is everywhere. It's fucking everywhere. You know, part of the reason I really, really enjoyed that Kim Possible movie? Yeah, it was really, really funny. But I just thanked God in heaven that Disney Channel managed to go 90 fucking minutes without promoting butt sex. I don't know. Maybe they're not as bad as Cartoon Network. I know Cartoon Network can't go 90 fucking seconds without it. You know?
They apparently don't have a good control department.
I mean, the way things are, I half expected, you know, the little naked mole rat that's Ron Stoppable's pet, I half expected it to live in his ass.
Won't somebody please think of the children?
How did we go from the really, really stupid moral panics? You know, where oh, Dungeons and Dragons is gonna make a kid a Satanist or dumb shit like that. How did we go from that? How did we go from people saying the Teletubbies was promoting sodomy because one of them was purple? How did we go from that to Desmond is amazing is A-okay? Like, surely there's got to be some sweet spot of common butt fucking sense, no pun intended, in the middle there. But you know what? If I had to choose between the two, I'll take the religious right and their insanity all day, every day over whatever the fuck's going on now. Like I said, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, seriously, Jerry Falwell was supposed to be a point of mockery, not a point of truth.
My God, if that guy was still alive now, I think just
told you so.
I guess. Good Lord. Somebody says, I wonder if there's going to be a day of the rope. I wonder if there's enough rope on this planet. There needs to be a day of the apocalypse at this point. You know, I don't know if I quite have the same the same outlook on Revelations that a lot of evangelicals do. I kind of lean in that direction, you know. But more and more, I'm like, you know what? I really today would be a good day to get raptured. That'd be just fucking fantastic. I hope it doesn't happen like quickly. I hope I get to like, you know, float up slowly so I can flip this gay earth off on my way up. So I can truly go fuck this gay earth. And I don't say that with self-righteousness. I'm fucked up too. All right? I'm all kinds of fucked up. But can we just not have the standard of leave the kids alone? John Steele says, what makes you think you will be going up? Well, that's because that's not based on my righteousness. That's why. So yeah, you can get pretty black-pilled looking at that shit. You get really black-pilled on that crap.
And no matter what they did to their children, the kids were all right. Because otherwise their parents would have felt guilty.
You see that the fucking morning show, you know, the light morning news or daytime talk or whatever it was, Good Morning America, where it's like, oh, and here's Desmond is amazing. Here's a 10-year-old boy who probably has syphilis. That's fucking fantastic. That's so stunning and brave. This 10-year-old boy has had more cum dumped in him than a 15-year-old sock. But that's stunning and brave. Don't tell me that kid's a virgin, by the way. Don't tell me that kid's never been fucked. Bullshit. If you think that kid's never been touched, well, I got some fucking real estate to sell you. How about that?
And if you haven't heard the name Desmond Napolis, get ready for this trailblazing 11-year-old drag kid who RuPaul is calling the future. His bravery is
the future. Is that the? That's the future. You know what kind of future that reminds me of? That reminds me of that opening scene in Terminator when the Terminator steps on the last human skull.
Now, if there's any future, but the future of bravery.
Like, that's a former football player, that guy. I don't know his name. I don't particularly want to know his name, but I recognize he's a former football player. Okay. You know, how do you just, like, okay, I get it. You're being paid. I get it. You're bought off. I get it. They probably have some blackmail on you or something. Who the fuck knows? But how do you not just like, how do you not just partway through that go, no, I'm sorry, I can't do this anymore. This is fucking wrong. And just walk upset. That motherfucker has millions of dollars. You understand that? Like he either doesn't have a soul or they must have something on him. Because I know he's wealthy. He's got to be fucking wealthy. Okay. If I had a mere $2 million, that would officially be fuck you money. And I would never again bite my tongue in any kind of way. Immediately $2 million. That's nothing to a lot of these motherfuckers. $2 million. You put $2 million. You get yourself a house, get yourself a car. You put the rest in a basic checking account with like a 1%, 2% fucking interest rate or something like that. And you live off the interest the rest of your life, you're fine. That's your position of fuck you, as that speech in The Gambler said. I mean, come on. How do you just, like, how do you sit there and interview Desmond is amazing? How do you sit there and fucking do that? You know, I said before that I hate, more than pedophiles, I hate people who enable pedophiles, because pedophiles are fucked up in the head. Now, yes, I think they need to be lined up against a wall. Don't misunderstand me. I think they need to be lined up against the wall. But I line them up against the wall without a great deal of maliciousness in me. I have as much anger in me when I line them up against the wall, metaphorically speaking. You know, hypothetically speaking, if I was in charge, yeah, you gotta put them down, but you put them down like a rabid dog because they're sick, they're fucked up, they're dangerous. You know, the people that enable it, that's a special place in hell for those fuckers. And everyone in that audience who stood there and fucking applauded that. Look at a kid on the ground. On the fucking ground. Like, gee, I wonder where he learned the fucking, I wonder where he learned that. I want this to sink the fuck in. What I'm about to say to you. This 11 now. Oh, he's getting a little too old for everyone. This fucking pre-pubescent, maybe just now at the cusp of puberty child is not a virgin. And I mean that in the worst way. All right, his ass isn't virgin. I guarantee it. Let that horrifying thought kick around in your head. And he's on network television, and everyone is applauding him. Look at all those stupid NPCs in the audience. Look at that guy. Look at that guy in the khakis. Look at him staring directly at this kid's ass. You seeing that? See that guy in the black shirt with the blue something or another on it? And khaki pants, staring directly at this 10-year-old boy's ass with a big old ear-to-ear shit-eating grin on his face. Don't look away, people. Deal with this now. This is the reality. This is everyone in charge right now. This is 90% of your fucking government, 90% of your financial institutions, 90% of the media, both news and entertainment, are made up of people that think that's fucking okay. So what the fuck do you do? What in God's name do you do? How the hell would you raise a family in this? And in this excuse for a culture.
I have a comment about this I'm not sure is appropriate, but I'll say it anyway. At this point, my attitude towards the Third Reich and Adolf Hitler is basically the same as Chris Rock's attitude towards O.J. Simpson. I'm not saying he should have done it, but I can understand.
I don't know. I don't know that there's a peaceful solution to this. Like, it's not LARPing, you know, none of that gay shit. I'm not going to sit here and be like the free folk and say, when the collapse comes, you know, you're gonna wish you folk built with us. You know, I don't know. I don't have any answers, folks. I got to tell you, I'm black pilled as fuck here this week looking at this shit. I don't know what to do about it. I'm at a loss. All I can do, all I can think to do is make sure and point this out. Because anybody that's got a soul left in them sees that and it red pills them. Okay. I'm a degenerate motherfucker. All right. You know, I had fucking group sex with 2 girls. I fucked a girl in the ass before I was done high school. All right. So I'm hardly a Puritan over here. All right. I've done things that I'm ashamed of. I've done things that I consciously know should be ashamed of, and really I'm not. If I'm being perfectly honest with you. All right,
Oh, great, they have the whole cast on here.
Those don't look like men or women. They look like demons, okay? They look like really, really colorful Cenobites. It looks like Cenobites. It's the Saturday morning cartoon.
Oh, there are cartoons with drag characters now, so...
Of course there are. Why wouldn't there be? Why wouldn't there be? You know what, everybody? Go watch the Kim Possible movie. And be happy the fact that the Kim Possible movie isn't about butt sex.
We have such sights to show you. Holy shit! Oh, never mind.
What do you... What do you do? What do you do about this sort of shit? I don't know. I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know. Maybe the only solutions are things that YouTube's terms and services won't allow me to say. Maybe those are the only solutions. I don't know. Well, folks, that's about all we got for tonight. Like I said, I'm going to say like 90% certain I'm probably not going to have a Saturday show this weekend. I think late night. Oh, thank you for the fucking palate cleanser of Kim Possible there, Luke. Thank you. Fucking needed that.
Something clean for the closer.
Yeah, like that in a sane society that would be naughty and dirty, but compared to what we were just looking at, that's life affirming, isn't it?
Everyone thinks they're a pervert until they see the worst of it. It's like, oh wow, I'm normal at this point.
I don't know. Are there like any gay guys that aren't pedos? Are they horrified by this? I mean, it's got to be on a scale, you know. There's got to be guys that aren't that far down the fucking rabbit hole yet. Anyways, like I said, probably not going to be a Saturday show tonight. I'm thinking late night Saturday. Maybe I'm going to finally do that James McDonald stream, you know, for the because I mean I'm getting like multiple comments a day, and I haven't even checked views on my James McDonald videos. So obviously people are interested in that story, and I do want to cover it more because that needs to be covered. I'm just a little black-pilled this week, which is part of why I need to enjoy a night off. A little company with a lady friend, maybe bang bang woohoo some, and then maybe play some Switch. But but yeah, probably not gonna. Plans aren't 100% cemented, but probably not gonna have a Saturday show. Luke might do something. I don't know. That's up to him. Maybe he'd say fuck you. I don't want to do something. I don't know. It's up to him. But yeah, I give Luke complete access to this channel because it's just easier that way. When he finishes doing a video, like instead of figuring out a way to get it into a zip file and compress it and send it to me, he just uploads it directly to the channel on private, and I check it out, see if there's any problems with it, you know, and there's almost never, because Luke's professional. And then I put it up. So I've given Luke access to this channel. So I mean he could just come on here and stream whenever the fuck he wants if he wanted to. So I like that picture of her at the bar. I gotta say that's delightful. And after tonight, that was downright life for me. So like I said, probably not gonna be a show tomorrow. Also, Steve's Jerky is the sponsor tonight, folks. The sponsor of this fucking put a gun in your mouth black pill stream. So instead of as you contemplate all this sad stuff, instead of putting a gun in your mouth, put some delicious Steve's Jerky in your mouth instead, because it's fantastic. And also down below, you can see the PayPal, Patreon, and Amazon wish list, where you can continue to support my lazy ass, who's not even going to do a stream tomorrow or later today, I guess technically. And I'm going to take a quick look at the chat real quick. Somebody in the chat says, Bechtloff, sometimes when you're not here and Luke runs things, the show just takes on a mind of its own and actually runs decently well. So he says 10 millimeter master race. I'm going to pretend like I don't know what that means. Let's see. Going through the chat a little bit, see if there's anything interesting here. Man, there's a few interesting things, but nothing terms and services wouldn't nail me on. All right, so we're going to go ahead and wrap this up, folks. I want to thank you all for listening, and that's all we got for tonight. Bechtloff out.